Hey guys, welcome back to Swift Tech Reviews. Jeff here with another review, and today I have the Huawei Ascend Mate 7. Now, a few months ago, if you can recall, I reviewed the Ascend Mate 2, which is a similar device, just a little lower specs. For example, the Ascend Mate 7 that I have here has a 1080p 6-inch display on the front, a 13 megapixel camera on the back, and a fingerprint reader right here on the back, along with the Huawei logo down there. Aside from spec, they aren't exactly the same shape either. If you want, you can go ahead and watch that review. I have a link of that in my description. So the design is really nice of the Ascend Mate 7. It has a really nice feel in the hand. Feels premium. It's made out of metal, as you can see, not plastic. On the right side here, you have the power button and volume rocker. On the top, you have the headphone jack and a microphone. On the right side, you have the SIM card slot up top and the micro USB card slot on the bottom, which is expandable up to 128 gigs. And on the bottom, you have the micro USB charging and sync port, along with another microphone. On the back, as I've said, you have the 13 megapixel camera, a flash, and the finger reader, which is actually surprisingly a lot more useful than some of the other ones I've used, such as the Galaxy S5 and the Galaxy Alpha. The display on the Ascend Mate 7 is really nice considering how big it is. You'd think, it is 1080p, yes, but being so large, you'd think it would lose some resolution. And honestly, I can't say that here because it's pretty good. I can't really tell individual pixels from one another. It's just a really good, vibrant display, and I believe you can tweak that if you choose to. Warmer color, color temperature, you can make it colder, check. So colder, you can see it gets a little bluer. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Or warmer, gets a little yellow. I keep the default. Default is actually a very accurate color representation. They aren't too saturated. Touch response is really good, actually. I never had any issues, even with the large display. So, onto the software. This is not the original launcher, of course. I installed Nova Launcher because it's my go-to for phones with third-party launchers and stuff already installed, so let's go to... Okay, so here, as you can see, this is the default launcher. It's kind of iOS-like in that there is no app launcher. It's just all of your apps located across many home screens. It's not bad. I mean, some people might like it. I just don't. I do prefer having the app launcher, which is why I use Nova Launcher. So let's go and change that back before I lose my mind. Okay. And the software is actually pretty fast. I've never really noticed any significant amounts of lag, only in this recent home screens button screen. So let's go ahead and... Okay, well that wasn't that bad that time, maybe because I didn't have a lot of stuff open. This phone only does have 2 gigs of RAM, so I'm not expecting, it to be able to run every app that I've ever downloaded at the same time. But for the most part, keeping 5 to 10 apps open, it still doesn't really lag that much, and I applaud that. I believe this is a 1.7 gigahertz octa-core, or quad-core, one of those. So because the screen is so large, Huawei went and created some shortcuts to make it easier to use one-handed. So for example, we have one-hand UI. One-hand UI, as you can see, slid all of the navigation buttons to the right side to make it easier to hold with your right hand. However, I did not see an option to change them to the left side so you could use your phone left-handed, which I think is kind of bad because not everyone is right-handed or uses their phone with their right hand. Another thing about the software is that you can change the position of the navigation buttons. I'll go ahead and show you that. Navigation bar. Here you can change what's in there, their arrangement. So here you can have it back, home, recent, or recent, home, back, home, recent, with the notification drop down, and then recent, home, and back with the drop down. And then the arrow is just a notification bar, so you just tap that and it automatically brings your notification shade down without having to reach all the way up to the top. I thought that was pretty good. Let's move on to the camera. I've taken some really good shots with the rear camera. Let's go ahead and take a picture of my Galaxy Note 3 here. Focus is pretty easy. Okay, I don't know why self-timer's on. See if I can go ahead and fix that. Timer off. Okay. So let's go ahead and take that shot. One thing I will say about this camera is it doesn't have a lot of settings, which is really nice because not everyone likes to dig into their camera. Sometimes they just want a camera that works. And another thing that I really like is you can actually use the finger scanner on the back to take the picture. So, for example, press and hold, picture takes. Press and hold, picture takes. Press and hold, picture takes. And I thought that was really nifty. Let's go ahead and try the front-facing camera. There we go. The front-facing camera isn't as high quality as you'd think, especially in low-light performances. But overall, it's a decent camera. But it's a very great camera, and it works really nicely. And takes really good outdoor shots. I currently don't have any, but I can upload some very shortly. Some people ask me about gaming all the time, and honestly, I don't really game on my phone, but I occasionally do download a few games to, just to see. So I went ahead and downloaded Need for Speed Most Wanted. So I'll go ahead and load this up. Oh, the speaker is also really nice on here. It gets pretty loud. It's located right here on the back. Not noticing any dropped frames or anything. This phone can handle games pretty well. Okay, enough of that. Just a quick demonstration of how well this phone can handle a game. So, all in all, the Huawei Ascend Mate 7 is a very great smartphone. Especially for only $500, you get this very large and in-charge display, the fingerprint reader, and the camera. It's worth the $500. And there are phones going for a lot more that can do not as much as this. Even the Nexus 6, yes, it has that 2K display, but that 2K display is pretty much useless since barely any apps support it, and it just eats your battery. It doesn't really serve much of a great purpose. And here you can even expand your memory to up to 128 gigs, which you can't do on a Nexus. Not to mention, this is $150 cheaper than the base price of the Nexus, and you get a fingerprint reader. So, the Ascend Mate 7 is definitely one of my best purchases, and I don't think I'll be selling this for quite some time. So if you're interested in it, look it up on Amazon. I only paid just over $500. One thing I will say, though, is that there are not a lot of cases for it. I purchased 3 different cases. The first one was a metal frame bumper, and it was bad. None of the buttons seemed to work with the case. And every time I would take it on or off, I would feel that it was scratching the sides. And the second case I bought was a not a silver, but a clear TPU style case. And it was nice, but it affected the fingerprint reader in a way that it wouldn't read my finger. So I had to take that off. And the last case I got is just a snap-on case. This one actually. Doesn't really provide much protection in terms of drops, but it will cover the back of your phone just fine, and it works with the fingerprint reader just fine. Hate exposed buttons, but what do you get? Oh, this phone also has LTE on both AT&T and T-Mobile. Just to let you know, they work. It works pretty great with both services. Alright guys, well thank you for watching my review of the Huawei Ascend Mate 7. Please stay tuned to SwiftTech Reviews for more phone reviews coming up shortly. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/SwiftTechReviews.